mean, we haven't used our allocated F-bombs yet, so we're still good.
Hey.
Look,
Hey. Me. That's for
Oh,
me.
here we go.
And that's going to be the opening clip of tonight.
oh God, no.
Oh, golly. I gave you all fair warning and everything. What are you doing to me?
I mean, to be fair, Vaz was raging right before, so we got him to calm down a little bit.
Why was he raging?
I mean, how
Do
are we
not
supposed to
talk.
know what
Do
video
not talk
games
to
are about?
Vise. Do not talk to Vise about Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube. I made that
Please
mistake.
don't.
Okay, we're not talking about the dinosaur spawn from, like, beyond... Okay, the QuickTime event where you're fighting the ghost dinosaur, where you have to keep the bar in between...
Not you too.
So, see,
That's literally, dude. Snap too.
Dude, I didn't even make it that far because of the stupid puzzles that made no sense. The mashing segment, where the dude was the pole, and you have to like keep mashing A.
So,
I never figured it out, and I was pissed.
I'm gonna let you know on the master secret about how you beat that section.
Oh God.
You go to
my
GameStop,
God.
you buy a controller with a programmable button that mashes the button for you, and all you have to do is hold it down.
Wow.
No.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I was the master at button mashing. And I would be this close, and I still lose. And, oh, that game is stupid. Nintendo, I don't know what you were thinking, but you wasted your money.
Oh boy. Okay, well,
There's a lot of
everyone,
anger
thank
here.
you so much for joining us for tonight's
I
episode
liked it.
of Side 7, where we discuss video game trauma from our childhoods.
I love that. I love that game.
Gutsy, I will throw you and your SD Gundams out the window.
there's
Never
so
mind.
much rage.
Oh
There's
my
so much
God.
rage.
I have a pure hatred for that game. I
Oh
don't
boy.
think there's another game on this planet that I hate more than that.
Well-
Yes.
Oh man.
Free.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening as we begin. We're coming in hot, people. We're coming in hot. Tonight's episode,
Blazing.
of course,
I'm gonna take some water real
Gundam
quick.
Pros, thank you for being a faithful sponsor and giving us all of the plastic to feed our addictions. Head on over, check them
Wait,
out.
They give plastic?
Yeah, plastic. Addiction. I don't have a problem. You have a problem. Anyway, so for tonight's episode, we have a lot of fun stuff to go over, but we're going to start things off with a little bit of trivia. Derp apparently has arranged for us to humiliate ourselves. Is that what's happening here?
Well, because I don't know a lot of stuff about Gundams, that's just kind of what it became of I would tell you what they would look like, and y'all apparently thought that was hilarious, so I'd like to have you guys try and name some Warhammer models that I've lined up. I have 5 Warhammer models. They're all from different armies. Bearbot, do not spoil it. No spoily, so don't spoil it in the chat if you know what they are. I want
Shouts out
them to
Bearbot.
Shout out to Bearbot.
Shout
I
out
want
to
them
Bearbot.
to authentic. Oh shit, King Flippiness is here. So sorry. So.
And there goes our S-Bob. We are no longer a sponsored channel. Thank you for coming, everyone.
Whoa. It's the F-bomb. It's the F, alright?
So I have, again, they are from 5 different armies, and I want your genuine, what you think their name would be, and then I will tell you what the name is afterwards, and then maybe a little bit about them just briefly, just so you know, like, why they're cool and why I picked them, okay?
This is gonna be fun.
And the order doesn't matter. You can do whatever order that you have there, okay?
Okay, well, here we go, ladies and
There's
gentlemen.
a handful.
Oh,
Okay.
I love it. We're off to a great start.
Yeah, off
Alright.
to a great start.
Are we talking like faction or like specific name for this?
Try and get. What do you think this is? What would this be called?
Nerdy, I don't know if I can say what I think this is.
Scroll a little bit so they can see like the feet and the base and everything.
Oh,
In the stream, you're cutting off the toesies.
stand by.
But okay. So yeah, what do you guys think this would be called? What do you think this is?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of regalia and like scrolls and badges
Ooh.
and stuff.
Okay, yeah,
So
that's it.
I'm guessing it's some kind of Warhammer Boy Scout because I'm seeing a lot of badges.
Yeah.
Or scouting, Girl Scout, Boy Scout. So I'm gonna say, to me, it looks like a tenderfoot, maybe, judging by the amount of badges. Maybe it's a
Okay.
tenderfoot or first class. And I think its name would be. I'm gonna go with the Berserkatron. That
Okay.
sounds like a good one. So tenderfoot Berserkatron for me.
I love it.
Tenderfoot.
Okay. What else? What do we got?
Oh.
Honestly, to me, like, I feel like this is the guy that's gonna come to your door and be like, "Hello, do you have time to hear about our Lord and Savior, the Emperor?" like,
All right, there you go.
I picture him as he's the enthusiastic evangelical. That's what I think he is.
Okay. Give him a name.
Enthusiastic evangelical.
All right, I love it. Horchata, what you got?
Oh god, I don't even know. He reminds me of something that I've seen like in a video game, but I'm not even quite sure. That reminds me of Blastoise, but
Blastoise.
oh Jesus, I don't know. Like,
Blastoise it is.
yeah, let's just go with that because I can't.
Red
come up with
Blastoise.
anything else.
All right. Vice, what do you got?
I'm not gonna lie. The machine reminds me of the one episode from Love, Death, Robots.
Okay.
If you guys have seen that series,
Oh, yeah,
you'll know
very good
exactly which
series.
one was the farm.
Yes.
That one. Yeah. But I'm gonna call it Mr. Stubby for the legs.
Mr.
Stubby.
Is it the toes or the
I love
arms
it.
that you're feeling from that?
It's the legs and the toes.
All right. All right. Is that everybody? Did everybody go?
Nah, we got little nerdy up there with you.
All right, nerdy, hit me. What you got? What you got?
So I get that kind of vibe. You guys remember that big robot from Judge Dredd, like after like that one dude?
Oh.
Yeah. So that guy, that's around that, and like I feel like
Judge Dredd.
I feel like some like
Slash
Mad
that guy.
Max, yeah, some Mad Max like really out in the mountains, redneck family like has it pieced together, and this is like their masterpiece that they keep in the family.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what this is. Now, there are actually many of this. This type of machine is called a dreadnought. And this one
Dang it.
specifically is a Blood Angels Librarian dreadnought. Now, dreadnoughts are actually really cool because they're like suits. They're like battle suits where it's a combination of like a walker, but it's also a cybernetic life force. So dreadnoughts can live to be like thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. You cannot come out once you're put in. So they are, and they
Whoa.
exist in many armies. So it's kind of like you go in and that is your life. You are set as a dreadnought. So until you're
That's
destroyed.
sad.
They're cool though, and they exist in both the Imperium and Chaos. So they are pretty neat. I think my favorite would be Tenderfoot Boy or whatever.
Berserkatron.
Tenderfoot Berserkatron is the winner for that one.
Oh,
So,
God.
9,000.
all right, and don't worry, I did include an orc, King Flippy. So, well, so no spoilers. So you can move on to the next one.
All right. Oh God.
Oh, that's
Ah.
a mean boy.
Somehow I got to pimple popping TikTok, and I don't want to be here anymore.
Oh no.
Oh, it's worse.
Oh,
Doing great.
okay.
Who wants to go first?
Do we just want to go down?
Yeah,
like,
let's go.
start with
Let's do
nerdy?
that. So nerdy, then gutsy, horchata, Olga, then Vise.
Oh,
Okay.
this thing's crazy.
Yeah, and the model is actually, it's a very big model. It's probably at least 6 inches tall. This is a very big model.
Oh man, like it's got like a whole bunch of that. Like, do those things expel something out of its back?
I don't want to give away
Oh my
information.
god.
There's something coming out of its belly. Like that's a pimple. It popped, and there's a little one coming out of the pimple.
Okay, he's perceptive, yes. What do you got, Nerdy?
I'm gonna call him Mr. Volcano just in case he explodes things.
Oh, like on the back? Alright,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Alright, Gutsy, what do you think?
He's. Well, I don't want to gender him, but the what I'm looking at.
I would say
uh,
she.
She, okay. She is striking me. I'm getting a vibe that's like maybe Samael, the
I was gonna say
Desolate
this music
One.
is way too soothing. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna say maybe it's Samael, the Desolate One,
Alright.
Lord of the Shadows, Harbinger of Pestilence, Seed of Destruction,
Oh.
Hound of Resurrection.
Okay, this is
Maybe.
a Skyrim here, all right? You don't
Yeah,
need to-
I know. It's giving me Eldritch Abomination vibes.
That's
so I'm gonna go with that.
essentially what they kind of not Eldritch, but like there's certainly
Uh-huh.
abominations to man
Yeah.
at least. All right.
Ooh, this is a good
So
one.
that's good. Horchata, what do you got?
Um. I was gonna say like. What does it even look like? Like a rat plus like a dragon?
You should call him Mr. Pibbles.
I don't know. I'm really bad at like making it stuff. So.
Does it remind you of any movies?
There's some video game, but I'm trying to remember like which one it is.
These were in a video game. There is a Warhammer video game that have not specifically this monster, but this type of monster in it.
It's like in I think it's like it's like a zombie video game, but I don't remember what that character's name is, so I'm just gonna say
It's pretty nasty.
I'm gonna stick with Pokemon, and for some reason I'm gonna say no. You know what? I'm just gonna call him Ratatouille. That's the only thing.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
That's
More like-
awesome.
More like Ratatouille. Only two people know what I'm talking about there. Haha. All right. Snap.
Jeff Goldblum, because
Sure.
life finds a way.
Oh, God.
You're
Yeah.
Expellar. I like that.
Expelliarmus.
Expellar. Vise, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with a xenomorph that has some problems with his stomach.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um,
Actually, a lot of people paint these up like xenomorphs. They like that style when they buy this army.
I bet. So, can I name the army since I know it?
Yeah, you can name the army. That's fine.
All right, so we're gonna go with something I don't know how their tongues would say it. We're gonna go with click clack clock tyrannid.
Sure. Yes. So this is of the Tyrannid army. Tyrannids are nasty bug things that essentially just sense life, fly to a planet, drain it all, make more, keep going. And this is a Turvagon. I chose it because it's nasty. Essentially, what this does is every turn it can spawn more pieces of the army. I think it's like 10 a turn. So
Oh,
What?
jeez.
yeah, so you
Oh
can
my
actually
God.
see on the bottom there's a little gaunt coming out of the stomach. It is actually because she is like a brood mother of some type and she poops them out. It's gross.
So what you're saying is that it's a better and way faster version of an alien queen. Got it. That's
Yes,
terrifying.
10 at a time. Yes,
That's terrifying.
it's nasty. But Tyranids are fun to paint and fun to play. So next,
Well, when I see this, I keep like with her mouth agape. I hear her screaming, "You did this to me! This is your fault!"
Oh my God.
I could see that makes me think of in that old comedy horror movie Slither of the like, what is wrong with me?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
this
wow.
next one looks amazing.
Witness me.
All right.
Yes.
I actually have one of these. So what do you got, Nerdy?
Oh. I don't. This one's interesting. I like it though.
This is an orc vehicle. I had to use something from the orcs in here, considering I'm an orc main. So go ahead and just put some consonants together, my guy.
The Oakland Raider.
I love it. If we don't need anything else from you, that is great. Gutsy?
Okay, just from this color scheme, it's really reminding me of Ratfink. Do you guys know about Ratfink?
Sounds familiar.
Ratfink is by an artist named Ed Roth in the 60s. He designed the original Batmobile, and he does like crazy hot rod art and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and call this one the Gut Buster.
I like that.
Oh, I like that a lot. That's very orc. Orc would like that. Okay.
I love it though. I love it. The checkers, the skulls. I'm here for it. It's perfect.
Yep. A lot of that is also hand painted. Those checkers on the top, some people can use transfers for it, but most of that is hand painted.
Beautiful.
Horchata, what you got?
I'm gonna try not to take too much time, so I'm gonna say, Jesus, I totally lost my train of thought. Okay, I'm just gonna say two random words. Mutant Rage. I don't know.
Mutant Rage seems like it would fit.
Appropriate.
Yes.
It is.
Also the name of Horchata's band.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Oh God. It's my turn. I'm gonna say it's the Busta Wagon because it looks
Oh,
like about to
that's
bust a
good.
cap in somebody's butt. Like
Yes.
I look at
I like it.
The-
That is
Wow.
very orc. Thank you.
like the only guy that doesn't have a piece on this is the guy strapped to the front, and he's like very Mad Max-ish, and I'm like,
Oh, absolutely.
what
Needed
did?
Nats to be there.
The Busta Wagon. Nice. And I gotta go and I gotta get it.
Yep.
Oh God.
All right, Vice.
Okay, so hold up. I was gonna call it. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try to see. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can translate it into goblin or.
Uh oh.
The Red Hell Charger.
Red Hell
Okay.
Charger.
I like that. I like that.
I like it.
All right. I think I liked either Snaps or Horchata's the best. They both fit very well. This is actually called Boomdaka Snazwagon, and
I got the wagon part right.
so here, let me explain. You got
Swag.
your boom.
Oh my God.
You got your boom. You got your Daka, which Daka is orc for like bullets or shooting, because Daka. You know what I mean? So you got your boom, you got your Daka, and Snaz Wagon. That's it.
Because it's snazzy.
I'm
I feel
about
like-
it.
All
I
right.
feel like we could all have water in our mouth, and then when we come up with a name, we try to hold it in.
It was actually really hard for me to choose between the Boom Daka Snaz Wagon or the Rucka Truck Squig Buggy. I had a
What?
vote with some of my friends. Shh, moving on. Next one.
What is this?
A delightful model.
Kelp nerdy.
Whoa.
Where does
This
it
is-
start? Where does it end?
This is, well, you can try and scroll a little bit. The little guy on the bottom is actually just standing there, like, singing with him. They're not connected, but this is a model that actually works for both Warhammer 40k and Warhammer Age of Sigmar. A lot of the demons can fit in both. Yes, exactly. I'm wondering if I want to buy one of these, because it's a great model, or if I want to kit bash my own. So what do you got, Nerdy? What do you call this boy?
Willy Wonka's voodoo mother.
I love it. You're really good at this.
Oh,
You don't take a lot of required thought. You just throw out gold. Gutsy.
Thank you. I love that.
It's,
made my
I mean,
day.
You know what? It's kind of like my brain. It just goes to a place,
Yeah.
and then I know I'm there.
Nerdy Gen is like the Wayne Brady of this game. He's really good.
Get it.
Let's see.
Alright.
I'm gonna go with Mr. Megorium's Wunderbar Emporium.
Ooh,
Yo,
I like that.
I love
Okay.
it.
All right. Okay.
Fun spent.
That's adorable. Horchata?
I don't know. Did you guys watch Spy Kids movie?
Oh my God! Yes.
Oh,
Like the little
man.
clay thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Dougal
Loops, the
Smoops.
loops.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll call it a food.
Floop.
A floop?
Yes.
I love that. Damn,
Perfect.
that's good.
You can just
See,
hear
I
him going.
thought-
"Zup, zup, 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 zup."
For some reason, the first thing from Spy Kids that my brain mind put together was big old thumb things that were just made of thumbs, and I'm like,
Oh, the
"Yeah, a
thumb
thumb."
thumbs?
But no, you are very. That was good. All right, Snap. What do you got? You look. stunned.
The bile spewing Piper.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Like, I'm sorry, like this one threw me. I'm looking at him like there's so many mouths.
All right. That's along the right line. That is along the right line. So you are actually kind of close. Vise?
Oh, crap! All the good ones. Oh man, I can't top them. Hobo Magician. How about that?
Hobo Magician is pretty good.
Hobo Johnson. Nice.
So this model is actually called Sloppity Bile Piper. So Snap,
Oh.
you were
Oh,
close.
hey.
Snap
He
had it
he has-
almost on the nose.
I know, yeah. So Sloppity Bile Piper here, he has a little bagpipe made out of icky stuff. And what he is he is a buffing unit. When you have other units close to him, he plays his song and they get buffs if they're in a certain range to him. So he's kind of like, he's not strong
Like a
in his own,
bard?
but kind of. There's a lot of things that do that where within certain range to this character, they can do this or they can do that, you know. So he is one of those.
What's
Grandpa
the
Nurgle
song?
is proud of everyone.
Is
Nice.
it just farts? What's his song? Is it just farts or something?
I want you to think in your brain space what that sounds like, because I think what you come up with in your brain mind is gonna be better than anything I can conjure.
I think Snap just evoked it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I got to do my first ban ever as a Twitch streamer. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And
Oh, really?
I got to ban and
and,
report. It was awesome.
The last
Wow.
one here I think is a really cool model, so I'm excited.
Oh. Uh-oh. Well, it looks like everyone decided to leave me, which is, it's okay.
What just happened?
Chaos ensued.
Oh, we look so great.
Now we're everywhere. Yay!
It's okay. It's okay. I can fix this. There, I fixed it.
Thank you.
Dang it.
So, am I to understand this is what happens when we make fun of the Chaos Gods?
Well,
Chaos.
Grandpa Nurgle really just kind of loves everybody. I don't think he's spiteful.
Why am I so small, huh?
Well, that's fine. We get the best part, which is you. Yeah, Nurgle is my favorite Chaos God because almost every single one of their models is along that line of ridiculous. I actually would have built a Nurgle army first if I didn't have a friend of mine that was already a Death Guard player. So I went with Orcs, and now that I'm done with Orcs, it's time to go to the Passion Project, which is Papa Nurgle. I love him as much as he loves me. So, yeah, try and there you go. You can see the base there. What do we call this here?
oh.
Okay.
Remember everyone, this is a PG-13 stream. Oh golly. Nerdy? Help.
I'm going to call it the Queen's punishment.
Oh.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Let me let my cat out here. Why do you call it that?
She looks very, I mean, important. But I don't think she is like the actual queen, and like somebody's on the floor, and like there's, unless she's trying to resurrect them. It could go either
Okay.
way. I don't know, but it looks painful. There's a book and there's things happening, and a bird with parchment.
Parchment bird. So what are we settling with? What are you calling her?
I'm still gonna go with the Queen's punishment because that sounds epic.
Wait.
All right, Queen's punishment. Good.
We're gonna go with the we're gonna keep Ice Snap on. He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Please
Gussie, what do you got?
don't ban me.
Okay, for a name, I think her name is first name Meg, short for
Oh.
Megan, short for
Oh.
Megan. So MEG Meg, last name Edith EDITH, pronounced Megadeth.
Ah.
Oh.
Okay. I
Okay.
like that.
That's it.
I dig
Alright,
it.
that's good. Horchata, what do you got here?
I don't know if like her name is that, but like she used to be like she used to come out like when Power Rangers used to come out. She would.
Rita Repulsa?
Rita
Rita
Repulsa.
Repulsa. Finally, after 10,000 years.
I'm free.
No.
Now it's time to conquer Earth.
Is it called Xena or what's her name?
Rita Repulsa.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
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 Rita Repulsa, yeah. Except she
Okay.
doesn't have the big cone chest accessories.
The Madonna.
Yeah,
Oh.
whatever's going on there. And then it had the big hat horns. Alright,
Oh,
so is she like a Prince? Like she just goes by like Prince or Cher, it's just Rita? Like, or you gonna call her Rita Repulsa? Is that what do you think?
Rita Repulsa. I'll go with that.
Alright,
That's
I
fancy.
like it. I like it. Okay.
God.
Snap?
I'm gonna keep it PG. I'm gonna keep it PG.
Do it, Snap. Do it.
Okay, so I see the syringe. So I'm like, she's a doctor. Dr. Mercy.
Doctor, I love that. That's great.
Mercy may come in
Okay.
many forms.
Dr. Mercy. Ivan Ooze.
I
No.
agree.
Alright. Vise, what do you got?
Something like I'm gonna keep it PG-13 because of Snaps. Godmother's Divine Retribution.
Oh. That is very in line with like the type of stuff that they would say, because they are very into themselves and what they believe. Pretty much anybody in the Imperium is. It's funny because like 2 or 3 of you were like, I'm gonna keep it PG. I intentionally avoided things that worship the sex god. I on purpose avoided all sex god nonsense. So
There's
I thought I was
a god in Warhammer for that?
We're
Okay,
saying
join
sex
that
god way
group.
too much for my liking.
good. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, I guess I know which one I'm joining.
Yeah, Slanesh is the god of excess, and a lot of people would excessively sex. So this is Adepta Sororitas, or a Sister of Battle. Now the cool thing about
Debauchery.
well, actually, that's just the army. This specific model is called a Hospitaller, like a Hospitaller. And 2 of you are right. She is a medic. She can, I believe, repair wounds in a fight. But I think she's a really cool model. Now, the Sisters of Battle are interesting because, without getting super deep into Warhammer lore, because there's so much, there used to be massive armies of like religious Templars crusading and all this stuff. And to prevent like an abuse of power from the church, a law or decree was put in place that the church could maintain no men under arms to prevent large armies, and to circumvent this decree, they just deployed an all-female military. So they got around with an asterisk, essentially.
Ah.
So they're not breaking any rules on being technically right, and being technically right is the best kind of right.
King Flippy Nicks, guns with nuns, or nuns with guns.
Nuns with
Does
guns.
that not remind you of Hitman?
It is 100% nuns with guns.
It reminds me of
Hold on.
Black Lagoon, the anime.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The hit.
That reminds me of Hitman, though, that one scene, if you've played the game. I think it was Absolution?
Pay attention to your loopholes. Oh
Yeah,
God.
the asterisk is so important. And it was actually, I knew I wanted to include a Sister of Battle model. It was very difficult for me to choose which one, because they have like tanks that are like whole cathedrals and organs with pipes with dudes strapped to chains. Like the whole army is buck wild. So I tried to stick with something that you could like give a name to, and I only included
love
main
it.
vehicle. So
Sounds spicy.
I love this segment, by the way. I will gladly pull up more if you all want to do this down the line.
I'm so down with that.
Yeah.
We're
This is
down.
fun. I think I think we keep this trend going. I don't know if we're gonna do Warhammer. I think next week we like Gutsy. Pick out some interesting anime for us to like.
Oh,
I'm down.
See, it's funny because I already watch a bunch of interesting and like shameful anime, so
PG-13. Oh god.
We'll
that's the
hammer.
whole group.
We'll hammer out a theme.
Oh
don't
god.
let it hit the theme.
All right. Well, that was tons of fun. I know I enjoyed it.
You
So
were surprisingly correct on a couple of them. Like you were the closest.
I'm starting to play Tau. I figure I should start to learn the language at least a little bit, and I'm getting there. I'm
Just
trying.
snap into it again.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our. Well, it's a mixed bag of whether or not it's our favorite segment or not. So, y'all, what broke your wallet in recent history? It doesn't have to be this week because life, bills, electricity. We all pay money for that. But yeah, what broke your wallet?
Starting with me. Oh gosh. As I mentioned, now that I'm coming towards the end of my orc army, I'm moving into a Death Guard army, and I started buying some basing materials for it. I'm not sure you guys saw earlier in the stream. It smells really bad, but I have these colorful mosses and things I'm gonna use to try and simulate coral on bases. I want to make like an underwater themed Death Guard army, so they're all gonna look bloated and nasty instead of being generically green like everybody else. So I'm gonna also I put in an order for some more resin for my 3D printer, which yes, the Odo, that will work for that as well. Bearbot knows my stuff. I love that.
Bearbot is great. Bearbot is so great.
I have a few ideas on how I want to do bases, whether that's with crackle paint or whatever, but I'm gonna be probably trying to 3D print some stuff, so I had to buy resin for it as well, and big old liter of resin can be a little pricey too, so.
Nice. Nerdy.
All right. So this, I think I mentioned it. Oh, for everybody out there, I got my PG Banshee expansion parts.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. So that was the easy payment, and then like right before my buyer sent it, they're like, by the way, I just got in Supernova Wing Zero. Would you want one? Yeah. So I got the Supernova Wing Zeros because I was like, why not?
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that box.
real quick, nerdy gent. Why don't you explain what Supernova is?
Other than an awesome name.
Yeah, other than amazing.
Right. So I guess, are they third party?
Yes.
Per se, they're a really great third party brand that started doing the Wing Zero kits, or the kits from Gundam Wing, and they started with what's it called, Shenlong / Nataku,
Sounds made up.
and they do a really good job on exaggerating all the Wing Zero kit, or the Wing kits, and they just look fantastic.
They look amazing.
Oh,
I mean, look at that.
one.
Like, that is
Okay, that reminds. Never mind. Nope. With that angle, it's gone.
Look at that Buster rifle.
Jeez, man.
Supernova
looks like that
goes
gore.
off.
That
Supernova
gun
just
looks like
goes
it's
off.
made of swords.
yeah.
Welcome to Gundam,
Yeah, hello.
where our guns are swords.
Everything can be a gun and or sword in Gundam.
If your sword is a gun, and your gun is a sword.
So,
Okay.
I nerdy.
Yes.
Now you got us
Comes
talking.
with death size.
You know, we talking about Gundams and Supernova, like the Death Scythe. Look at those wings, like oof.
Oh, looks so good.
I have
Look
not.
real anime-like too.
I've
Meta
yet.
Knight.
I've yet to
Meta
find
Knight,
one.
Yes.
But it looks so sick. Anyway, I apologize.
Their heavy arms is also. Mwah,
That's
mwah,
actually
mwah,
sitting
mwah,
in my
mwah, mwah.
backlog right now.
Oh, you lucky duck!
It's not mine. It's for someone else, and I have to build it. So I get to build it, and then I have to give it away. So
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's
It comes
back.
with a stand and everything. They really go all out. With
Yeah,
their
so I
kits.
couldn't pass it up when they were like, by the way. I was like, throw it on there, just do it.
That scythe reminds me of Aatrox from League of Legends. Big, crazy red
Oh,
sword
yeah.
doing death.
nice. So the nerdy gent, thank you for making us all super jelly. Gutsy.
I recently copped Super Robot Wars T for the Nintendo Switch. It's like a $70 video game, honestly, because they do not sell it in the United States. However, it is region free, like all Switch games, so it does have English language in there. Basically, if you don't know Super Robot Wars, it's like Fire Emblem, but with mechs. But not just not just generic mechs. It's like
All the
Gundams
iconic
show
ones.
up. All the iconic ones, like Gundam shows up, Mazinger Z. This one has. I literally just bought this one because it has Galgaigar as a playable unit.
Oh yeah, is
You
there
can
getter?
see- I don't know if there's a getter, but there's some low-key ones too, like Dan of Thursday, which is my favorite mech name ever from Gunsword.
Love it.
But and there's some Vodums in there too. It's really fun. But I was playing it for 20 minutes, and there's a mission where Faye and Spike from Cowboy Bebop show up, and the Swordfish is a playable unit. And I'm like, okay, are they really gonna go all out with this? And you hear the bongos start going, and they do the whole theme song, and it's a really fun game. It's super boring because it's like all menus and like moving pieces around, but the cutscenes and battle animation is really what this game is all about. So yeah, $70 game. I'm not much of a gamer, but I always wanted to play Super Robot Wars. Highly recommended if you're into mecha anime. It will hype you up.
I'm
Damn.
for it.
That's a lot. It's not. That's actually not a lot to spend on a video game. Like $70 is like, how much? I'm so out of touch. How much do video games go for these days?
Usually 60.
On
Yeah, like
console,
60.
60.
60?
Yeah,
On
see, I
Steam,
only
it
I only
varies.
buy like used Game Boy Advance games. So for me, this was like a bit. I'm only into those kind of games. So for me, this was I went in on this purchase.
See, and like that's a responsible purchase. Like you have this one game and it will only cost you $70. Like I play games like League. I've probably put over $2,000 into that game. So oh no, hold on. I've been playing it for 10 plus years.
Oh,
So
wait.
still
Well-
bad.
I mean, if you do the math on it, that's not terrible over 10 years.
That's like only $200 a year.
You
So,
enable me. I
so,
love it.
so that's only
I'm
like
here to support you.
that's only $17 a month.
Wait, did you just do that math in your head?
No, I used a calculator.
I was about to say.
Shout out to every single teacher who said that we would never carry calculators in our pockets. Lies.
Snap
was like, what kind
Snap
of
got the
witchcraft
he
have
got
you
the
done?
TI 800 like just strapped on him at all times, just ready to go.
I would expect a person who likes Gundam as much as you to have a calculator on the desk.
It's just my phone.
Gotta figure
Oh.
out our finances for the next kid.
We just teasing Snap.
Maybe. I feel attacked. But yeah, no, that like I'm trying to. We're not gonna do. I feel like that should be another segment. Like, estimate the cost of the collection. Like going through our collections and
Oh.
tallying up how much
Oh,
money have we spent
no.
on this hobby.
No, that's not.
Let's do that, but ask our significant others. Have them.
No, see, he
Yes.
has armies too.
Oh.
See,
Just as
Y'all have
bad.
seen my backlog, and oh my god.
I feel like that's a React video. I actually did that. Like, I went through and I recorded all the kits that I have in my backlog, and I showed my wife. She wouldn't let me post her reaction. It wasn't bad, but, you know. Anyway, Horchata.
They get embarrassed.
Is that the reason why she handles your money now before you buy premium Bandai?
It's the reason why I ask for permission before I buy kits. I feel like that's just good communication, though.
My fault, Horchata. Go ahead.
That's cool. I mean, aside from the normal like bills and stuff like that, I got a skateboard deck, Sailor Moon, for my wall.
Sick!
Yeah.
Wait, do you
Wait,
skateboard?
Excited about that.
Do you skateboard?
No, but yeah, it's a skateboard, but I'm gonna like mount it like on the wall.
Decoration.
I literally
So-
bought it to look at it.
Wait, so who's on
Oh,
the deck?
sick. Okay.
Can we see it? Do you have it or?
I actually just ordered it today, so like. I
Ah,
have to-
alright.
Ah.
Yeah,
I'm sh-
but if you go like, it's on Zoomies like website if you want to look.
Zoomies.
Yeah. Remember making the mall runs on the weekends with the homies? You're like, we're gonna go to Zoomies and Spencer's.
Is this it?
Yes.
Yo, that's sick.
No, Zoomies, you don't get to know where I live.
Oh my god. Horchata, as if anime TikTok isn't simping for you hard enough already, you gotta go ahead and pull this move.
Like,
Yeah, I wanted to get them like individual because like they have them like all the Sailor Scouts like individual boards, but they're all sold out. It's crazy.
I would
if
wear
you have
these.
an individual board, which one would you get?
It would be Mercury.
Yes!
It's like my favorite.
I'm out of the loop.
Oh god. MTG is the best trading card game. Yes, Magic the Gathering.
Yes.
All right, so that's awesome. So you're gonna mount.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
No,
Would,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
would you like to try and explain the rules to Yu-Gi-Oh, Gutsy?
I will
I
fight
just-
you.
I just coughed. Why are you guys getting all pressed?
Yeah, my man just coughing. Where are y'all two coming from with all the heat?
They
You good,
didn't
Godsey?
even know how they wanted the rules to work, and they made an anime for it,
Hey,
and the
Cal-
rules were different.
Calmate. Calmate.
Oh,
A lot of
Alright.
we had our rage at the beginning of the stream.
Now it's back.
Look, I'm
Fine.
out of water, all right? If I overheat, it's over.
Power creep. See, Bear Bottle Blue tells it. Power creep killed Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh is dead. Anyway, so, Derp turned me on to Warhammer, and I already had a couple models, but I thought, you know, if I have some models, I should probably learn how to play. So, I bought the Tau Start Collecting box.
Hey.
And then I got the Tau Codex, and then
Okay,
I got the data cards,
exactly.
and-
You bought literally all the things they told you to buy. You're so good.
and then I bought some basing material. I don't know what's happening. I can't stop.
No, that's good. Oh, actually, I'm not gonna lie. That Skulls box that you bought, actually, a lot of your purchases were very good. That Skulls box will last you a long time. I bought that years ago, and I still haven't cleared out the skulls on it. For anybody, even if you don't do Warhammer, that Citadel Skulls box is fantastic. It has hundreds and hundreds of tiny little skulls on it of
that's
varying
cool.
shapes and sizes. So if you want skulls for your bases, it costs what, $14 or something? It is very worth it. To make you feel better about all of your purchases, the Start Collecting boxes are actually very good value for the models that you're buying. So,
I'm not going to disclose how much I paid for each of these because I feel like
it's okay, so you bought a Start Collecting box. Tell me what you bought, and I can tell you how much you paid.
okay. I got the Start Collecting box,
That's like 80, 90?
95.
Yep, 95.
I got the Codex.
That's 35.
Yep.
Okay.
Then
I don't like these numbers.
the
He's nowhere near a full army. He's
the,
got
the
maybe
skulls were like 30, I
350.
think.
Yeah, the skulls are very worth it. They can be used for everything.
Basing material was 15, and then
What?
I don't know how much the data cards were.
I advise actually I would not buy the Citadel brand basing material stuff. It's so expensive. I usually buy the it's an army. I think it's an army painter brand, but I have to go find the sheets because as soon as I get it, I take them out of the box, so I forget what they're called, and I just go into my my order system. So I'll find a link and I'll show you the ones that I buy
Nice.
for those.
So, I paid monies. I broke. I did things.
You probably only have I don't know how much the vehicles point wise are, but you probably only have like 500 points worth of an army, and an army is typically 2,000 points.
Well,
So
If anyone can do it.
I don't want to play anymore. It's no more fun.
when you do, it's fun. It's fun.
Oh God. Okay.
You already
Vice.
pulled the trigger, Snap.
Vice, save me, please.
Yes.
you want me to save you? Okay, here, hold up. I'm gonna grab it. Nothing. You know why? Because I'm already broke. I still
Yep.
haven't gotten
No,
paid
you
for
are
that
just a
thing.
far more financially responsible man than we.
No, it wasn't responsibility. It's just the fact that I'm broke.
He already bought all the stuff that he wanted to buy, so he
Yeah.
can't buy nothing no more.
Soon pre-orders will start shipping, and then you'll be in the same boat as us.
Did they not take your money before they ship?
Oh no, they take your money, but
Ah.
you just don't have
They
any.
take it. They
You
take the
already
money.
passed the
Trust
payment.
us.
You just don't have
Come on.
anything to show for it until they ship.
That's actually nice because, like, when you buy something, especially if you buy stuff when drunk, it's like a gift from the past self. Like, you'll just be enjoying your day and you go and you check the mail and you're like, wow, thanks, me. Like,
Thanks, Drunk Me,
So
for
you're
making
good.
this Amazon Prime purchase.
I walked in on my roommate when I was in college, and he was drinking to excess. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I need to have a talk with drunk me about my life choices." I'm like,
what did he do? Record a video?
I don't know what he did, but it was one of those situations where I walked in and I grabbed something and I immediately walked out. I was not gonna live through that.
So, like, I'm not a therapy major.
Oh God.
Yeah. Army painter is the basic materials that I use.
So, speaking of which, because I've seen Army Painter at a lot of hobby stores, which I think leads us quite nice segues. That's the word, segues quite nicely into our next discussion topic. So I had a question about thinking back. What has been your favorite hobby store experience? Like, think about the one time that you walked into a store and you were blown away, whether it be because of just the level of service you got, or the selection, or maybe it was the venue. What was the place that was like, this is hobby mecca? There will be no place that is better than this.
Okay. My area actually has a plethora of gaming stores, and all the ones that I had experience with are trash garbo. Like, they're run by people who, like, hate the hobby and are just in it. Like, one of the guys literally only has a store because corporate makes him. Like, it's a bad zone. And one of the ones right across the street from my neighborhood was bought out by another store, and I had never gone in there because I just assumed that it would be just as bad as the other one. No, I went in there. They have just going in was enough for me, because the hobby store here across the street from my neighborhood has a huge room with maybe like 8 long tables for Magic or card games or board games. They have a wall of paint, as they all do, a wall of models, and, like, you know, obviously snacks. They have an entirely separate playroom for Warhammer and other tabletop games of like 10 tables for play with terrain, so you can go there if you don't have terrain and you can play without playing what we call poor hammer, where you just use like books and shoes and stuff. And they have a room. Yo, that's why it's called poor hammer. You just put whatever.
How
you
many
can.
points for a shoe?
It's the tree. You don't pay for the tree.
Like a
But,
Monopoly helmet on there.
Yes. So, and they have a separate D&D room, and they actually have a cafe on the end too. So, like, it was just the experience of going in and being like, these are my people of all flavors. They have all of the things that I like. So it was just having so many bad experiences and going into a store that actually accommodated properly was enough for me to just be like, wow.
That's awesome.
So that's me.
Gutsy, I know you've got. Or sorry, Nerdy Jen. I did not mean to cut you off. Please,
Oh,
sir.
you're good. For me, I'm actually still going to the store that I've had my first like super awesome experience at. It's DNA Comics, where me and my homies go. I was like a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh player, and I was like super shy at the time because I was like, oh man, I'm new, I don't have anything. And I walked into the store, and there were like not just Yu-Gi-Oh, but multiple different things going on. And everybody was like super welcoming. Yes, that's my place right there. They have comics. They have Magic the Gathering. They have Vanguard. They carry Gundam now because we got the owner to start carrying Gundam like 6 years ago.
Hey.
Because he was like, "What are you guys doing?" And we're playing Gundam, or we're building Gundams. He's like, "I might start ordering these." So he started ordering them, and we have been there ever since.
Whoa, a Batmobile just starts showing up? Okay.
Not one Batmobile, but
I didn't even
two.
think to send you the. Wow,
Batman goes there.
yours is bigger than mine.
Dang.
I love it. This is where all my weebs and my nerd herd hang out.
Aw, look at the little mini nerds. That is so cool. Wall of Juice.
Yeah, don't you know? It's probably, is that like smoking vape juice and stuff, I assume?
I think the Nerdy Gent froze in disbelief.
No,
Well,
I now will
we have
take,
lost another.
I will assimilate into the center and be both.
Wrong way.
Okay, this way. Am I good?
Uh,
Other way.
Gutsy.
Another way.
How about you, man?
There you go.
This way?
There you go.
There you go.
A little bit more.
Okay, so
You're good.
I'm gonna sit here and okay. Maybe someone should text him.
Yeah, I hope
He
he's
could
okay.
still be talking. That's
Well,
the
he-
problem.
He added a comment saying that something happened with his connection.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Well, I guess.
Someone screenshot that look of disbelief and uncertainty that's on his face right now.
I know. It's like when Austin Powers lost his mojo. Like he's like frozen
Oh,
in a
God.
block of ice. Anyway, my hobby shops are a big passion of mine actually, because I think it's really important as hobbyists that we avoid shopping at like, you know, Amazon and stuff as much as possible because they don't really care about us and the prices are not, you know, always inflated and stuff. So, you know, just a little PSA out there, support your locals, support small businesses that have websites that have the stuff you want, especially right now. You know, during
Yep.
the time that we're in, it's more important than ever to do that. So,
Uh,
anyway,
Uh,
go!
Well-
I'm in two places at once.
Yep.
that actually, a lot of stores will actually give discounts
About-
to people who purchase in location as well. Like,
For
'cause there
show, for
usually is
show.
a markup. The Warhammer models at the store that I purchase are, I think, like, instead of the 6% markup, they just don't do that 6% markup. So it's just as good if you were to get from, I think, actually not. It's actually a better price than direct. So
Yeah, for sure. So, ode to hobby shops, but
Ode to
I
hobby
think when,
shops.
when I started falling in love with toys and robots and stuff, I actually was like on vacation in the Philippines with my family. And in Southeast Asia, they have these gigantic malls because it's so hot outside. So the mall is huge. It's like multiple city blocks. It'll have like it'll have like a church in there. Like there's so much going on in the mall. So there was one wing of this particular mall that was literally like dozens and dozens
go.
of vintage and specialty. Welcome back, Nerdy Jen.
Yay, he's alive.
the man, the myth, the legend.
But anyway, so there are dozens and dozens of these tiny little shoebox stores
Yeah.
next to each other, and you would find like anime statues, G1 Transformers, Power Rangers stuff, Gundam stuff. So that's the memory that really got me in love with
That's pretty
with
neat.
yeah, it was amazing. I don't know if it's even there anymore, but it's just like this whole wing of one mall of all these
I've
little
noticed,
hobby shops.
Do you remember the name of
A
the mall?
lot of
Yeah, it was called Green Hills Mall.
Oh,
But,
so Sonic. No, got it.
Yeah, but I'm Derposaurus. You would like to add something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, the malls near me, there are actually a lot of, like, small pop-up shops, and it's funny because, like, the hobby shops that pop up in malls, they don't look like your standard hobby shop that, like,
Right.
where
Yeah.
you would go and you would play. Like, the ones where it's like they care more about selling the collectibles. The floor is always barren. It's like a white box with just a
Yeah.
bunch of shelves, and like there's no decoration, but you can find some of the most interesting things in there of like models you didn't know that existed, or models that you wanted but you couldn't find anywhere else because it's just been hiding on this dusty shelf and this plain white shop.
So I see you have photos of Green Hills. I don't know if it's the Green Hills.
I
in the
probably
Philippines,
typed in the
but-
most generic
Yeah,
mall name
yeah,
ever.
I know. But anyway, the one in the Philippines was actually designed as kind of a futurist attraction in the 60s. And it's still there today, so it's very cool. But actually, I think my favorite hobby experience was just walking around Shibuya, going to the Shibuya crossing in Tokyo. And I was just walking around. All of a
Yes.
sudden, yeah, you know where I'm going with this. All of a sudden, I look up the sign Mandarake, which, if you don't know, is a legendary toy store. Mandarake Shibuya. You walk down. So for the sign, it looks like it was designed by like H.R. Geiger or something. It's all like wrought iron and stuff. You walk
Made
down
for
like
you.
yeah. You walk down like 5 flights of stairs, and you are in toy. You're in collectible heaven, basically. Old Sailor Moon dolls, new Sailor Moon dolls, Figmas, Mafex, Soul of Chogokin. Pretty much anything you can think of, it's there. It's like it's like the Isle of Lost Toys, but all of them are like vintage, perfect pieces. It's
Is
so
it, like,
well.
all secondhand stuff or all new?
It's like
No,
secondhand stuff.
It's
yeah.
like secondhand stuff, but it's almost like curated in a way.
So, like when you go to Mandarake and you turn in a toy, like they check everything that
Yeah.
goes in if you are trading it in, and then they make a note of it on the box so they know like whenever they resell it what's all in the box. So
Right.
everything's either like top quality or they at least are aware of what's going into it, and they let you know that this is top quality, or like hey, X, Y, and Z are missing out of the box, but it's all secondhand stuff and it's amazing.
Yeah, every niche is represented. You never know what you're gonna find there. They have like amazing old vinyl toys, like kaiju stuff. That was great. But the final part of my little spiel here is my local hobby shop that I go to buy kits is actually a chain of Japanese bookstores called Kinokuniya, and they're all over the country. Kinokuniya. Anyway, most of them just sell like stationery and cute stickers and stuff. But the one here in Portland, there is a guy who works there named Josh, and I have to shout out Josh because he turned the Portland Kinokuniya store into the hub of the Playmo community in Portland. It's amazing. He works really hard to order all the right stuff. I'm actually working on like a video of it soon because it's such a good store to go to. But he gets Gundam kits. He gets like Hexagear kits, which are so hard to find.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
if you know about him, this guy has Hexagear governors in stock. You can get Kodo MSG parts. You can get frame arm stuff just in this bookstore. And of course, they have books and manga and cute stuff for your significant other and all kinds of stuff like that. But you walk up the stairs and you are in Gunpla heaven. So shouts out to Josh. Literally, it's all because of this one guy who decided to cultivate the Playmo community. You can see where it says Guild, that sign there, on Instagram. It's actually in an old theater, so it's very Portland. It's a gentrified theater that they turned into a Japanese bookstore, but it's amazing. So if you live in the Portland
awesome.
area, Yeah, if you live in the Portland area, Pacific Northwest area, and you're into Playmo, it's definitely a destination. So yeah, shouts out to Josh. Thank you, Josh. You're the man.
Nice. Horchata.
For me, it has to be this comic book store that's called Madness. They have like a variety of everything, but I really do like their like Gundam or Gunpla selection, and they have like really nice tools, figurines, and stuff like that. What I like the most is that they don't hover over me like I'm gonna steal their stuff. They kind of like just let me be, if that makes sense.
Give you your space.
Yeah, because like I've gone to other places where they're like right behind me, thinking I'm gonna steal something, or I don't know. But yeah, like I really like that place. Like it's.
I
really,
saw their post on Texas Gundam Club today.
Yeah. They're always having like really good kits. They're always like restocking. They're very very friendly too.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are both from Texas. That's right.
Mhm.
You could meet up there.
Thank you for
That's
the
why I said if we
host.
go meet up, it would probably be Texas or Florida or something. Just big pile.
Nice.
You guys are more than welcome.
Oh, cupcakes. Sorry, now I'm just scrolling through their Facebook page. But this looks like an awesome
Depends
store.
on
Yeah,
If you
it's
want
really
just
cool.
dry heat or humid heat.
Humid heat is the worst.
Yeah,
Dry
that's
heat
what I have.
is very bad too.
I prefer dry heat over humid heat.
Oh
any
yeah.
day.
You don't like walking through hot soup?
Nope.
Okay.
So,
I don't like my face feeling like it's melting.
Now, Horchata, I've never actually had the problem of people assuming I'm gonna steal things in a game store. Have you ever had my issue? I'm sure you do. Just being a female in a game store, do you get the the hounders? The I'm gonna learn her something today. I'm gonna teach her about the things she's looking at and obviously knows nothing of it. Do you get any of that?
I've only gotten it like a couple of times just because like I wear my headphones for that specific
Oh, you
reason.
just block
so-
'em out?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, no. But yeah, like I've had like people come up to me like and they're like, do you know what you're looking for? And I'm like, yes, thank you. Like, but yeah, like I get that all the time. But I wear headphones for that specific reason. So there you
So it
go.
Oh,
probably happens
no.
more. You just get none of it.
I'm
Something-
sorry, dude.
That's cool.
so,
Yeah.
so my turn. I've had
Go ahead.
a couple of fun experiences at different hobby stores. When I was visiting the West Coast, I was visiting some family in Seattle. And there's this place called International Model Toys. It's a tiny
Oh my
little store.
God.
But oh my gosh. So like that's on the left, that's the wall, and where those shelves are, that's the other wall. So it's like a tiny little hole in the wall place, but the wall art, the like some of these dioramas the dude had set up, and like
Those
he
are
he
legit.
made these. Like
I have been there. I snap. That is International Models on 4th and King Street, downtown Seattle. Wow. That's
Oh, I
so
like the
awesome that you've been
dioramas.
there as well.
like
That's so awesome, dude.
I walked in there, and this is like before I was getting big on TikTok, but I wasn't huge. And I walked in, and like, this is the first time that I've ever been to a model store where I was like, "Oh yeah, I love guns." He's like, "Oh, can you show me some of your stuff?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure. Here. Oh, that's so cool. Here's my stuff." And like, he was just so enthusiastic and so genuine. Like, I think we've all been to those stores where it's like, "Hey, can I help you find?" Yeah, I'm looking for this Gundam. Let me check the computer. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna do this with it. Or you try and tell me, yeah, that sounds really, really cool. Like they're doing the I'm showing interest in this just because if I don't, I know you're probably not gonna buy it. This
Right.
one, like he was into it, and
It's
his
literally a sweet old couple who owns
Like-
the shop.
the dude was so cool. And then the
I want to go on a trip here now.
like and the selection, like so many kits that I have like never seen anywhere. But look at that. Like
A big old EXS.
super
Crazy.
super inspiring, super cool dude, amazing store. Like I know that if I ever make it to Japan and I get to go through like the Akihabara shopping center or shopping area or like the Gundam base in Tokyo, like
You're gonna be
Have your
broke.
right
You're just gonna be
credit
mega
card.
broke.
Not allowed to hold your credit card.
You are going
home.
to yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
You're gonna be
Snap.
broke.
If you ever make it
Nice.
to Japan, Snap, it's gonna be nuts.
Guys,
But,
calm down. His wife will be with him. She'll hold it, and she'll say
The-
when and where.
The International Model Toys in Seattle, it's like a must for me. I'm actually astounded that, because Snap, you're all the way on the, I didn't know you come out to the East Coast and you've been to
I used to
one
live in
of
California.
my favorite model shops. That's super sick. But yeah, this model shop's super cool. They actually have like, I don't even know how they have the kits that they have, because they have some rare stuff, and it is at a slight markup, but honestly nothing compared to what it's like trying to hunt down some of this stuff on eBay. And Snap is correct that the people who work there, the guy is so sweet. I literally, like, he's known for giving out Gundam markers just to kids who are buying their kits and stuff. So yeah,
So,
International Models.
Fun
amazing.
story. When I went there, I was visiting my uncle, my aunt, and my nieces, or my cousins, because they're not my nieces and nephews. But I call my nieces my nephews. Anyway, so I took my nephews, my cousins, to this store because it was in town. I wanted to see it, and I bought them their first Gundams there. And yeah, no, he did exactly that. They got some
He
like
did it?
yeah, they black like simple Gundam
Oh
like
my-
panel lining markers. Like I'm like, hey, I need
Oh.
these 3 kits. This one's for me. This 2 is for them. He's like, okay, cool. And he reaches like on the display. I'm like, oh no, I don't need those. He's like, no, it's fine. And puts them in there. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, International Models. Mwah! 10 out of 10 Gundams, Gundarium tier. Amazing
Nice.
store.
I love it.
All right, Vise, hobby store, favorite hobby locale.
Mine isn't as extravagant as all of y'all's, maybe. The first time I saw an actual hobby store was when I was in Colombia for the second time, and we were just walking inside of a mall, and I had happened to see these people just custom making all of these model kits. It was so dope. But of course, I'm in Colombia with my family, so it's not like I could actually stay there and watch and everything. The most significant one, though, for me was at Comic-Con in New York. The giant freaking, like, just where they were and how much, like, Gundams were just stacked upon each other inside, like, racks and everything.
Is it a Bandai booth?
Yeah, it was dope. The only
Yeah.
sad part was that my card was denied in front of everyone inside that line. So I had to
Ah.
just say goodbye to it because I spent all my money previously on other things at the con. But every single time I go there, I always want to try to get something. Because I was trying to get,
Ugh.
I know one of them specifically, I was trying to get the Strike Noir, I believe it's called.
Like
But,
the one with the pistols, the strike gun that has like dual wield with the like the cables that come out of it and stuff.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Strike Noir.
You
Yeah,
know,
I was
I've
trying to
actually
get
only
that
been, I've only been to Comic Con once, out in Tampa, and when I had gotten there, one of the very first vendors that I had purchased from was sourced, like he was from California, so all of his transaction stuff was considering California. My bank shut my card off on my first purchase because they're like, whoa, you're
No.
in California, shut it down, so I couldn't buy anything.
Oh
It
man.
was a tragedy. And so I'm just walking
Yikes.
around, and I don't want to, like, I was with some people, and I didn't want to be like, hey, can you, like, charge, like a couple hundo, and I'll, like, give you money? Like, I can't, it's very hard to do, so,
Right.
I'm glad you had a good time at that Comic-Con, because it's way better than mine.
Actually,
Jeez.
no, that's what happened with me, actually. I came to find out that they actually locked my card because for some reason,
Oh,
I don't know where they
vendors
put their
travel.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, New York. I'm in New York. It's fine. They're like, this says it's from a different state. I'm like, huh. Well then. And I had already left the con and everything for the day. And we only go once a day. We're trying to go twice, but you know. So yeah, I got screwed over that there.
R.I.P.
I had the very embarrassing call with my bank of her running through every transaction to find the one that didn't match. And I got very frustrated and eventually had to be like, just assume all the Taco Bell is me.
That is
Yeah.
all me.
I ain't
Oh.
hungry. Leave me alone. Don't
Yeah.
judge me.
Like, I hate when that happens. Like, I know that there's money on this card, but like whenever the machine says processing, I'm like, it's gonna decline. I know it. There's no
Oh,
reason
man.
for it to do so, but it's gonna, and then it's like, it's approved. Oh, thank God.
No, it's when your card is like really like not banged up, but it has like that wear on it, so that every
I
single
have
time
this
you
problem as
swipe
well.
It, oh, I was at last year's Comic Con. And I was trying to get something signed by the Red Ranger from Mighty Morphin. Crap, what was his name?
Austin St. John.
Austin St. John.
Austin St. John. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nerdy
Austin,
Jen.
and it took like almost 7 swipes for it to go through, and I was scared because I kept looking back, and I'm like, I swear to God, there's money on this, and I'm just trying to get this signed. I swear. Oh man, I felt so embarrassed because then the other two Rangers were there. I'm like, so how
Judging
do
your financial choices.
Oh Lord.
Yo, how much does Austin St. John charge for an autograph, though?
His was like 70, I think.
Jesus.
Oh my
what?
god!
It,
Yo.
Let it be known, I
I
don't
mean,
charge
I
for
can't
my
blame them
autographs, so
either.
if y'all want me to sign something, it's on the house.
I
Me
can't blame
neither.
them though.
You're so
Like,
considerate,
wow.
Snap.
but I mean, he charged me that, which I was fine with. And then the guy that played Rocky, the blue Zeo Ranger and red Mighty Morphin Ranger,
Yes, the great
Yeah.
Stephen Cardenas.
Steven Cardenas. He went in there, and I went up to him, and I was like, "Hey, I just want you to sign this," and blah blah blah. He tried to get me to buy this $100-something Megazord on top of it. And I was like,
Oh
dude,
no.
I'm just trying to get your autograph, man. And I forget what happened, but I was like, nah, I'm good though, but thank you. And I just dipped. I just couldn't.
Oh.
Had to save
So
the
I
money for
have,
something special.
Yeah. I have a quick question because I, being the least experienced in Gundam, why is it called Gunpla?
Portmanteau!
What's the pla?
Plastic?
Plastic. Plastic models.
It's that
so,
simple?
Yeah. So Gundam
Yeah.
plastic
That's-
models. So Gunpla.
That's all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there would be some intricate, like, pla is the.
You've been talking to Gutsy too much.
Ooh.
I was gonna say, well, I'm gonna say it's deceptively simple. Actually, it's a very nuanced.
God, okay.
Gut, it's just plastic.
Oh, look, Gutsy's connection seems to be...
You know what? I get it though, because Gutsy comes from the chef world where we want to explain our whole dish in the
That's
most
true.
immaculate way ever.
That's
And then
true.
everybody's like, bro, you just gave us pancakes. And you're like, but they're immaculate pancakes.
Ah, these
And I
are,
had-
these
The-
are rounded dough cakes with organic tree
They'd be
sweetener.
perfect on Food Wars. That's for sure. I did this, and then this equals this, plus that, and so on.
Okay.
It's okay, I got you, Gutsy. That's why we're always on the same wavelength.
I know.
gosh.
I know.
Well, that's awesome. So we've been talking a lot about like stuff that we have enjoyed that has enriched our lives. I think that it's important that the viewers who have stuck through these shenanigans, with one of us like departing for the Nether for a little bit and coming back, let's give a little bit back to them. So, what is, for the new hobbyists and for the experienced hobbyists, what is your favorite hobby tip that like someone walks up to you and like, hey, what if you could tell me one thing about the hobby to help me? What would it be? What's the one thing?
That's easy. So in specifically like the Warhammer style, it's really everything is like tricks of either special types of brushes or special types of paints. I for this segment specifically chose shade paints because if you're not gonna do dry brushing or layering, like that's fine. The one thing that can really up your modeling game, at least in this style, is to buy shade paints. Now they come in many different brands. Like I know almost all brands make them, and you can actually make your own. It's really just incredibly watery paint. It's essentially the consistency of water, and it's pigmented. So the idea of shade paints is when you paint something with your base layers, you lay down all your colors and you put shades on them, and it makes them look way more intricate than you could ever imagine. You essentially let all of your models do the work for you. Thomas, do you have the photo that I sent you?
I did. I tried to
Rest
free
in
up some
peace.
resources and stand by. Actually, I'm just gonna do this.
So yeah, and there are YouTube tutorials. Actually, if you are specifically into Warhammer, the Warhammer actually has their own YouTube page. There are tons of painters on YouTube that you can look up playlists for, but actually Warhammer is going through and painting every single model. So there's a chance that you already have, like your model has a specific tutorial. But essentially, shade paints are very watery. They get into the recesses of your models, and they make it look like you've put more work into your model than you did. And you can actually use them as painting. One of the reasons, actually, I don't remember who in here said they were interested in Tyranids, but Tyranids, good evening, Silver. Tyranids essentially are almost entirely painted with shade paints, and it does all the work for you. So if there's one thing you can take away, and there's tons of colors, maybe just getting, like, the two that everyone should have are Agrax Earthshade, because it's like a muddy, murky brown, and Nuln Oil, which is like a dark, so metallic. So all of your metals, you can put this on, and it just makes it look like you put so much effort into it, and really you just took a brush and made your model watery.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So it's essentially a wash then, right?
It's a wash, yeah. It's a shade
Oh,
paint.
okay. I was sitting here thinking that's a
There's
wash,
different terms.
right?
There's different terms. Yeah.
Okay.
People call it washes or shades. It really depends. It's kind of a lingo thing, but yeah, that's all it is. It's essentially pigmented water.
That's awesome. Like I love the effect that washes have on like even Gundams. Like when we talk about panel lining, doing a wash in place of panel lining, if you're trying to create a weathered look or introduce some shade without actually like airbrushing it, it's a really nice touch.
Can your thing show videos? If you just Google Warhammer shade paints, there's a video. It says Citadel Color Shade Paints. If you just skip like halfway through, it shows what a model looks like with shade paints and without shade paints, where that's the only difference. Yeah, just skip like directly in the middle. You can see that gold model. Yeah, right there. So if you look, this is the same exact model, where the only difference is he laid down all of his base colors on the left, and on the right he put a wash on it. So that alone has upped that model's quality, and all it took was maybe 3 minutes to go and make that wet and let it
That's
dry.
awesome.
Yeah, so it's cheating essentially.
Hey, it's not cheating if it makes it look awesome.
You're right.
And if you get paid with it.
So another. So I've been really getting into AK Interactive. They have a line of washes, and you can buy sets of washes for like specific things. Like they've got a tank wash, a Jeep wash, and then each wash corresponds to a different part of the vehicle. So like this wash is specifically for the gear setup of an airplane. So
So they're different colors?
indeed.
How much are they a piece?
Whatever that currency is, I think that's euro. 1 second, stand by.
I mean, like I said, you can make your own. Like, honestly, I should have as an orc like orcs are dirty. I've gone through. These are like $8 a bottle. I've gone through at least like 7 of these for my orc army, and like you can make them and just like literally just dunk your models instead.
So, it looks like they're
Where
listing
are we
about for
talking about?
$5.99.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
We're talking about easy tips, and my easy tip was using washes or shades. Sorry, he asked what he missed.
No worries, that's fine. And like, yeah, I think each line of paints has washes, and they just call them something different. But yeah, I agree.
Washes.
Washes are useful on any hobby. Also, why is this Smithsonian showing me whatever that is? That reminds me of like the Tyranid model that we just looked at. This thing right here.
Well, that's it's your search history now.
Oh God.
You're gonna get all the gaunts,
No, I don't want
all the nasty things.
Nerdy Gent, what's your tip?
So I think we've talked about this a few times, and I love our hobby to death, but I feel like whenever you're a newbie in the modeling hobby in general, it's really hard and notorious to not get away from like, oh, I have to buy everything from a hobby shop. And a lot of people don't know. So like, you go to like Hobby Lobby and they're like, oh, these are special weathering sponges, and like you're just kind of there like, I have to buy these here. If you guys don't know, you can go to the cosmetics section in like your local Walgreens or your grocery stores and get makeup brushes, makeup
brushes.
sponges. Yes. And
Well,
at the fraction of the usual cost, and buy all these things.
they're easier to
that-
clean too.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, like, was it those little trapezoidal makeup sponges? Those ones you can get like a whole package of them for like $1, and then you go to like Hobby Lobby or other hobby stores. They're like, we're gonna charge you $4 for like 12 of them, and you're like, that seems a little high, but I guess. And then like you finally wake up and you're just like, oh, let me just go to the cosmetics section and get all these fun brushes.
Yeah, like I think these are the ones you're talking about for like $7. Or no, these are
Yeah.
cotton pads, but same principle.
And it's like all those little things, because my whole thing as a guy in this hobby, and like for everybody, is like we're already spending a ton of money on the kits and like our tools and everything else. So I like to be able to help people find at least small little financial tricks where they're
Yeah.
not feeling like they have to like dig in their pocket for every little thing that like we're having to use on our hobby desk.
It's expensive enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've also talked about like the idea behind a pink tax, where like girl stuff is more expensive than the exact same thing for a guy because it's pink.
Right. And it's just like, oh, maybe if I can go look at other places, because like you just spent $60 on a kit, you just spent 100 something on a Warhammer thing. We don't have another like $20 for like 2 other things from the hobby shop. We have $5 left over.
Yep. That's why I say not to buy the Citadel brand paint clippers, because they're like $15. Or actually, the clippers kit and thing that I use is a Gundam kit, and it was $12. So
Yeah, and it's just those little things like Derp said. It's just those little small things. Like instead of $15, just because it's a brand name something, I'm getting a whole kit for 12.
Amazon, quit
So-
trying to upgrade me.
Silverlock says he or she or they, Apache Helicopter, uses disposable emery boards for basic sanding sticks. That is something that I do as well.
Yeah.
They are whatever, Apache Helicopters. They're much cheaper than buying some of the other sanding options, and like sometimes you can get them in the dollar store for like even
Oh yeah. Or like even those guys that have all the multiple sides.
the emery boards.
Yeah, the multiple multi-sided emery boards. Like it's so funny though, because then you end up like having these emery boards and everything, and like if you're like me and your sister knows that you buy all these things from the cosmetics section, and you come into your room and you're like, are you stealing some of my stuff? She's like, yeah, I know you have it. I'm like, why don't you buy it? She's like, 'Cause you-"
Counteract. Now when you need a new one, you go steal it from her.
right.
Done deal.
Yeah, Blazing Bacon's calling out. Even within Side Dippers, price does not equal quality all the time. I just bought a pickup pair of nippers for $8. That is better than my $30 pair.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yes.
As long as your flat side is flat and it cuts, and it has a spring, I guess.
Then you're good to go.
Side cutters without springs bug me.
I didn't think they existed, but like I do have one that's so old it's like stuck. So
Cool.
yes.
Gutsy. Hobby tip for the masses.
For the masses, well, this one's for all the straight builders out there, the straight out of box builders, who are just putting stickers on and stuff. But if you are doing panel lines, you may be tempted to use like a fine point Gundam marker or even a regular Gundam marker, and then carefully tracing all that detail. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go through all that trouble. What you need to do is get a pour type Gundam marker, or some panel line wash. We were talking about washes earlier. Get some panel lining wash, and literally like something very sharp, like a needle, or they even make like fountain pen kind of looking implements you can use. But with the pour type Gundam marker, which is what I use, which I believe is the GM301 Gundam marker, it has like a pour action where the tip is spring loaded, so when you press down it will release a deluge
Oh,
of
I've seen you use that on your TikTok. I was
Yes.
like amazed because you couldn't see anything, and then you touched it, and it just
Right.
and it
Boom,
filled all
yes.
the lines. And I was like, what?
Capillary.
It's like magic. It's like magic. So that is called capillary action.
Is it like this?
There you go, Horchata.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be called capillary action, where the recessed detail will actually suck up all that excess ink, and all you need to clean up is just the point of contact where
It's
you
like a
touched it.
champagne.
Yeah, exactly. So also cleanup, use a white plastic eraser is perfect for. You don't need to use Yeah, like for a pencil. Like you don't need to use a Q-tip or with alcohol or anything like
Good
that.
tip.
If you're just doing Gundam markers, just use a white plastic eraser and it'll get the job done. Or you could just use your finger like me. So that's my tip.
In that same vein, if you are looking to add, like I always find that panel lining white plastic is tricky because it tends up being too dark. Pencil.
Yes.
A fine tip mechanical pencil is a great way to add some detail, and it's not
yeah.
so heavy, but there's just a light shadow.
And it's something that everyone
I do-
has. And also, like someone was saying earlier on one of my videos when I was talking about different tools for beginners, just another little fun tip, like if you are just getting into Gundam and you're not yet quite sure if you want to invest into tools for the hobby, and you're literally just use a pair of nail clippers for your first kit. It's how I built my first kit. It's how a ton of us built our first kits. It's something that everyone has that is disposable and cheap. And if you decide like, oh, I want to do more of this, but it's kind of hard, then go buy your first pair of nippers.
Are you talking about removing from sprue?
Yes.
Oh, see, I committed a sin. See,
How?
well, now, I
Use those cuticle clippers.
no,
Yeah.
I had like an X-Acto blade. I was trying to cut with an X-Acto blade to remove
Oh,
the first time. That's part of the reason why my first model that I assembled, the Def Dread, took me like 4 hours, was because I was cutting it off of sprue with like an X-Acto
Right.
blade.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
Um,
I learned.
it's not so much that you committed a sin; it's just dangerous.
I learned real quick to not do that.
yeah. So, any first-time
table
builders
never
out
forgets.
there? Oh no. Just use some nail clippers if it's your first kit ever. Like, when I was a kid, I built dozens of kits with nail clippers. So, it's an easy thing that everyone has. And if you're building it, and you decide like, oh, I wish this was a little easier. I want to do another one. Then spend the $7 to $10 on your first pair of nippers and go from there.
Nice.
I do
Horchata.
have a quick question, Snap.
Oh.
You know how you said like the mechanical pencil?
Uh-huh.
Was it literally just lead? Because I bought this Gundam one, and I'm like, the lead itself is really expensive, and I only get like a few.
And that's the hobby tax right there.
Yes.
Staples,
yes.
$3.
But now you have a very aesthetic mechanical pencil. So
I mean, I think this is pretty aesthetic.
it is.
Yeah,
But
it
it
is.
doesn't have a
Absolutely.
Gundam. But is it Gundam branded?
I'll put a Gundam sticker on it, and then yes, it will be Gundam branded.
Is it Earth Space Force standard issue?
Couldn't you just take any leftover decal from a kit and put it on the pencil and
I
like?
got you.
Boom.
Yes. Yes.
Gundam.
All right.
Fin on it.
But yeah, so just a normal pencil will do, and then for cleanup, the same thing that Gutsy suggested with the eraser does it fine, and that's all you need. But it is your turn to share your tip with the rest of the class.
What I would say is like patience, and if you're tired, stop. It's like I like. Some
That's a
kids
good
because of
one.
that.
Facts.
But, like,
Yes.
Surprisingly
like
important.
falling asleep. Like I'm falling asleep and then like I'll cut way too much. Like, you know. So I would say patience, and if you're tired, like stop. And then also like whenever you're cutting like excess nubs, what I do is like I point away, or I kind of cut away rather than like do this, because I've cut my fingers a lot, like with the X-Acto knife, like on my thumbs.
Be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really important one because I think that there's a misconception that when you start building a kit, you need to build it as fast as possible. You need to get it done, and there's like a completionist in all of us where we want to see the finished product, and so
That's
what
how
it,
it becomes floppy.
and so like,
Yeah.
and then that's when you start making mistakes. But yeah, that's something that like for me, it's second nature now. I don't even think about it. But no, yeah, that's absolutely a great tip. Take your time, enjoy the experience, savor it. Like for my foodies in my group, savor it like a fine wine and a nice meal. Like I could just see
Yeah,
Gutsy
yeah.
like putting down this amazing plate of food and someone just going, "Oh, thanks."
For me, I imagine, you know, I have my wine in one hand, and I have my Gundam in another hand, and it's like, oh yeah, these babies got legs.
Oh
You're
god.
like, yes, sir.
Oh god.
a little sommelier joke for my
It's
wine
also-
enthusiasts.
I
had
enjoyed it.
I tried to assemble a kit of some orc meganobs once while I was drinking some wine. Don't drink and
Oh.
assemble kits.
I feel like that's gonna be our slogan. Don't drink and build, kids.
Don't. Because like
No.
what happens is you wake up the next day and you look at your model and you can see all the like not flush seals and you can see all the excess glue and you're just like, why?
Why did I do this?
This
Why
is your
did
brain.
I destroy this kit.
Or, this is your
Don't
kit.
drink and snap.
This is your kit on alcohol.
There you go. I like it. Don't drink and snap.
That's gonna go on a T-shirt.
Or you know what? Like I'm falling asleep when I'm building, and one time I stabbed myself with like one of the tweezers.
No.
Yeah, that was pretty painful. I woke up like at 3 in the morning with like the tweezers like hanging off my thigh. So.
Oh my goodness.
Good golly.
Never gonna
Like
forget
Ace
it.
Ventura, like like. Oh my goodness.
No BUIs here. Building under the influence.
It
Yeah.
reminds me of a girl that stabbed herself in the mouth with a pencil because she fell asleep during class.
Oh, how,
How
is that
was
even
she holding
possible?
her
What-
pencil?
So
Oh,
she was
God.
like, she was holding it like this apparently, and apparently she just kept dazing, and her mouth was open. She said,
Nope. No.
Okay, we're now advancing very quickly to my hobby tip. To my hobby tip. No. God. Okay, so this is a tip for those who are doing straight builders, because like whenever I just build on stream, I've got like 4 or 5 different sanding implements of various grits to achieve the finish that I like, including my new favorite sanding tool is these little they have 2 sides. They're for polishing, so you add a little bit of polishing compound and then you buff it. That's how you get that nice glossy shine. However, if you're just doing a straight build, we already talked about this, but yeah, a multi-sided nail buffer with the 4 sides, the same kind that you use on your nails to make them look nice and shiny, does the exact same thing for plastic. So you can use this to buff off any nub marks that have survived your side cutters and your X-Acto blades, and it doesn't mar the plastic so heavily that it ends up breaking it. But there's a company called Gun Primer who I actually have their nub removal set. They use a glass nail file and then a buffing tool like this. But it's like $60 for the kit.
Yeah,
Versus
I've been curious about that.
versus the $2.50 for this. And then also, if you want to try it, a Control A. Glass nail file. So $12 from Ulta. Versus this is what we're talking about. The gun primer racer.
Yeah, gun primer seems like one of those things that is just like they're trying to make a very niche product just because there isn't one already, you know?
But
they're
at
trying
the
to be
same time, though, they have that nice void thing for the dust collector.
I
was
want that.
like, I really do
Yeah.
too.
It looks sick.
Like,
And
don't get me wrong, they're really pricey, but they're a good kind of pricey, not like a bad type.
now I will say, it works. It does work as advertised. This will remove a nub and leave no remnant behind. So it works. But this, not that. This and a glass nail file will do the exact same thing for a fraction of the cost. Like,
But also a fraction of the clout.
Yes,
again, I will put a sticker on it.
I love it, Gutsy.
All right, Vise, my dude, your hobby tip for the masses.
I guess I'll give something like 2-ish, if that's all right.
It's
Um,
not. We'll fight.
Oh well.
I'm just
Yes,
kidding. Go
I'm
ahead.
dead after this.
Go ahead.
thing. For people, if you have a kit that has some very loose joints, and you just can't get it to keep in a certain position or whatever, the tip that I have found was when I first started was using nail polish.
Ooh.
Oh, the clear one?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it'll basically go in there. You'll put it over the polycap. It'll harden, and then you just
Take it
you
apart.
just put it in the polycap, push it in there. It'll harden, and then from there on, it'll be nice and tight, and it'll still look nice with like a cheap nail polisher. And I guess second tip wise, if you're going to start getting into custom building or kit bashing, and you have like ideas and stuff, please, I'm telling you, save yourself some time and effort by going on like Pinterest and looking up already custom builds and or guides to like show you how they did it and to get it a certain way. Because there are pieces that I should have that are gone because I was too enthusiastic and I didn't wait to see how I was going to plan the build and everything. So always take your time with that, and even draw it out if you can, because that'll always help the process.
Yeah,
But that's mostly it for me.
that's one of the reasons that I don't do custom like kit bash commission pieces anymore, just because the labor intensive process. Like someone will say, hey, I want this done. Cool. I'm gonna try and figure out how to do that. But yeah,
Bashing
I mean-
for me is always a hindsight thing, where as soon as I'm done with it, like, oh damn, I should have put this on there, or like, you know what, it would have been better if you know what I mean? So it's like, because it's so open, whether it's Warhammer or Gundam, it's literally endless because you're making something from what you want. I always have regrets afterwards, even with my my tank thing that I made. I have regrets with it because I just think there are things that I could have done better. Do you guys have that with Gundam models? Like,
Yep.
Oh yes.
Like, oh, I should have
I
used
can
this
tell you something
instead.
right
All the
now.
time.
like
All the time.
I've taken kits off of my shelf, taken them apart, and redone them because I'm like, you know what? It's bugged me enough. I'm gonna do it because
That's very orc of you.
I think it's gonna look awesome.
I do have another tip because I know Gutsy, you said that you use super glue, right?
For
I think you mentioned it like on one of your videos just recently. Like,
I do, yeah, for all kinds of different things. Yeah.
so what I would recommend is like if you get the gel one, it's like a lot better.
That's
just
what
because
I
it's not so,
use.
like it's not
It
so
doesn't
bright.
run.
Yes, that's why I like it. Like,
No.
so yeah.
I
There's
do have
also
that.
the plastic cement.
Yeah, I do use that for the more like when I'm trying to bond things together. But actually, I prefer like the more fluid, like crazy glue or something like that.
Oh, gosh,
Especially
no.
the one with just like the brush.
There you go.
Okay. Where you can like brush it on.
Yeah, because
Yup.
a lot of times when you're trying to do like fitting on joints, so the say there's a ball and socket joint, and one or it's a little loose or whatever. It's a process of like thickening and then sanding and then thickening and sanding to get that fit perfect where the plastic won't stress.
Yeah.
So to make sure that nothing will break and that it'll last as long as it should. So I find it's easy for that because it just dries extremely fast, and it's easy to get off once if you decide you don't want it on there anymore.
The issue that I've had with some of the watery glues, like this piece, the kit bash that I did, like this Gretchen, the only points of contact that he has are his feet on the little barrel. So if I had used because I use the gel based. I've used watery glues before, and when I have a flat surface, trying to be glued to a flat surface, it usually just ends up streaking down, and then it creates a texture, and there's no getting that off. Like that's yours.
Yeah,
if
no.
that happens.
Again, the nature of it's gonna be bad for that because like Warhammer, they're static models, so it's just not like viable, like aesthetically. But for Gundam, which are supposed to be movable and they have like engineering and parts and things like this, it's really good for adjusting, making those little tweaks when you're fitting all the parts together so they move the way you want them to.
So I highly suggest investing in an accelerator. A lot of people recommend using like baking soda or talcum powder as a setting agent for CA glue, but a liquid or aerosol accelerator does wonders for assembly because it cuts down the curing time like to instantaneous. So when we talk about waiting for the glue to set and then having it run, this eliminates that because
That's how I
Oh.
feel with the gel though too. The gel goes pretty fast, but I've actually never used an accelerator. I should try that sometime.
No, it's the first time I've ever heard of it, actually.
It's really good.
it's done, it's set.
Yeah,
And then you
what
just
the-
wipe
Bearbot
off
wants
the
to
rest
know
of
what
it.
brand.
This is Starbond. I'm not sponsored. I should be sponsored because I use Starbond. Starbond thick, Starbond thin, Starbond medium. I love Starbond because they have tinted. This is actually black CA glue, and they also
I've
make
seen that in the
white.
video.
So if
Wouldn't
you're
it be dope to have like a sorry?
no, go
I was saying
ahead.
You need like a Starbond like snapback, like that would be dope.
Starbond, if you're watching.
Yeah, make him a
Starbond
hat.
for lunchbox.
But like for in all seriousness, like if I'm gonna see if I can do this on camera. So little bit of glue. Also, these applicator tips are gorgeous. So there it is in liquid form. Accelerator. 1, 2. I actually probably didn't use enough. There we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's cured.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Why
cool.
black glue?
So when you are building Warhammer models where it's very dark and gritty and you need to fill a small gap because you made a mistake, black is very forgiving. The other thing is if you're trying to hide a seam line or you're trying to fill in a gap, you can use black super glue to so when you snap two pieces of Gundam like legs together, especially, there's a line that runs down the middle of it. So by filling in with black glue and then sanding it, you can see how much more you need to fill in, if any.
Y'all fill with glue? Y'all don't use green stuff?
No.
No, we use
Y'all
cement.
don't know what
So
green stuff is?
I know what it
I
is,
know
I
what
just
it
don't
is.
use it.
it's just better. Like
That
so.
give me anxiety.
So
So-
for
Green stuff, like, is that what florists use? Is that like the
No.
floral stuff?
No,
We
it's
use
a
this.
type of, putty.
Green
Putty.
stuff.
Oh, putty.
Green
Okay,
stuff
okay, okay.
Is a simple. Green stuff is
Right.
you get it. You get some yellow, you get some blue, and you mix them, and it's like a Play-Doh texture, and you can use it to sculpt. Like I'm actually gonna try and do sculpting for my Death Guard army. You can use it to fill gaps. Like a lot of people, you can essentially just smear it in the gap, and then because it's soft, like Play-Doh, maybe a little harder than Play-Doh, You can smooth it out, get it how you want. Instead of having to sand down glue, you fill your gaps, and then if you're gonna paint over, like, it's green, obviously, but if you're gonna paint over it, it's not an issue. You just let it dry and harden for like a day or so, and then it's like as hard as plastic. So you can mold it to how you want, and it's very sturdy.
So I've
So what is
actually
it called? The
Green stuff.
green stuff. So
is it
Here,
just
I'll show
like
you.
that?
one of my older
It comes
videos actually
in
talks
many
about
different brands.
green stuff and yellow stuff. So green stuff, or it's a two-part plumber's epoxy, and then there's Millput, which is
Yeah.
the yellow stuff. Green stuff dries like more plasticky, softer. Millput is more brittle, and then you can change up the ratios of green or blue and yellow, and gray and yellow when you're using Millput to change the consistency and the curing time. They also Citadel makes liquid green stuff.
I've never used that.
I've tried both. The reason that I like using CA glue instead is it offers a degree of more control, because when you're working with Gundams, the gaps you're trying to fill are really fine, so you don't need a lot. And then with Starbond, at least, it's not as brittle as like other CA glue that I've played with from like the hobby store. Thank you for coming to my
Yes,
TED Talk.
People have used green stuff for like entire sculptures. Like I've seen people add cloaks like to models or tentacles, or even I actually have green stuff on this model. I made like a band and I textured it. It's probably hard to see in that crappy webcam, but like if you want to add something, you can sculpt it to whatever you want it to be and just let it dry for a day.
I want to go get my models over there. I played War Machine, which is like steampunk Warhammer, and I have this model called the Stormbringer. It's like a giant mech with a huge storm sword, and I sculpted like a Roman like sash on him using green stuff.
War Machine is actually where I started getting into green stuff for custom stuff like that. But yeah, Horchata, definitely try it out. It's kind of weird, like at first, because it's like
Yeah, it is.
it's like a harder Play-Doh. But like, I'm not exaggerating when I say like what you get it to look like. If you just leave it, it is hard. Like at least the Citadel one that I use. Like if you Google green stuff sculptures, sometimes you'll be amazed.
Because I've heard about it, but I've never really like looked into it. So, but I will.
I think another I'm gonna add on a hobby before we move to a hobby tip before we move into our Q&A section. Find a community like this, because I have some extra green stuff that I could just send that I'm not going to use, that I will send Horchata, and then she doesn't have to go buy it. I have some black 3.0 paint that I'm not going to use that I'll put into a little dropper bottle and send to people, because yeah, if you have a community, if you cultivate a group of people who share your interests, you then have them as a resource.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
then they can advise you on how to do things instead of like watching, because watching YouTube videos and tutorials can help, but like, you know, sometimes a second opinion helps as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm excited. I want to see you make something with green stuff now. I want to see you like cut some, like give them a little bag or something, or give them like some goggles or a headband.
Aw, Bearbob Blue says he's so glad he found us.
Yay.
Yay!
Oh, thank you.
Bearbob Blue is such a cool guy. I ran across him on my For You page, and he actually ended up like tagging, I think the three of us, right down
he
our
was
row.
pegging me on some orc stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, "Hey, I'm just reaching out, just putting a signal out there. If anyone can hear me, I love models. Like, let's interact and stuff." And very sweet guy. So, thank you, Bearbob Blue. Always
Props to Bearbot.
props to
Shout out
Bearbot.
to Bearbot. We appreciate you, Mama.
Bearbot,
Nice.
Yes.
Your,
My
I'm
fellow
not sure if that's
modeler and weeb
exactly your
and
TikTok
nerd.
handle, but put it in there in case anybody wants to follow you. But no, I mean it, and that also goes back to like the idea of sharing your passions with people, even just having like a group of people like this group, or following other people. You can get inspiration from seeing things, or like, oh, I like how Horchata did this different kit bash, or like how she did this, or how she did this weathering, because like I see your weathering videos, they're neat. I have never done weathering with some of those tools, those grinders, but I would love to get into it, you know. So like that's something that I can see and I can learn from. Same as Bearbot showed me a model. He had done a kit bash actually of a Dreadnought pieces, that first model that I showed you, and he said it looked like it fit more in an orc army, and I was like, hey, cut the head off, put a little
I
Gretchen
saw
like
that.
he's driving it,
So,
and there you go. Like, so having a community, sometimes, like how I have hindsight regret for kit bashing, like, sometimes another person could just be like, yo dog, make that gun a sword, like, so it helps.
Yo, dog. Aw,
That's-
thanks, you
yeah.
shop. Shop Goblin is an excellent example of building a good community.
Oh, Shop Goblin's great too. My gosh. Sorry.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to our final segment of the evening before we say goodbye, and I get to finally have my potty break. It's time for Q&A from the chat. Chat, this is your opportunity to ask any one of us or all of us what has been burning in your hearts to know about our deepest, darkest secrets.
Yeah, I'm like, nope.
Like right when Derp takes a drink. No,
Like, everything but social security numbers is fair game. Go for it.
Fair game, yeah.
Not the
wait,
deepest.
repeat the question?
You signed the waiver. You know what you got yourself into.
You signed the waiver? What an idiot.
Did- Oh, God.
Does
So-
anyone have any questions in chat about anything?
Also, it bears in mind that there's a delay, so there's like a 6-second delay. So we said that we put it out in the universe, English.
Univoice. Univoice.
We put it out in the universe, okay? And now
Put
what's
it out
going?
in a universe.
We put it out in the universe, and now what's going to happen is that people are going to respond to us, but it's going to take about 6 seconds for it to make a round trip through the astral planes.
Oh, I see. Bearbot, he said that I have
I want to see Derp's reaction to the
He has
vid I sent.
a
was the kit
video
bash.
voice acting with the Kit Bash. Oh, there was another one after the one that I responded to?
Yes, Bacon, the Univoice.
It's I don't think I saw it.
Univoice. Mar619, thank you for dropping in, my dude.
Let's see.
Gun plus slang is what they said.
I don't know if I want to like blast the audio to this, but I'll watch it right now if you want. I'll just mute my mic because I don't want to. If you say voice acting, I'm afraid it's gonna be like yelling because orcs. So
Oh,
I
God.
don't know what to say.
What have I gotten myself into?
A lot. You signed a
Hey,
waiver as well,
you
sir.
brought the Warhammer, and
Uh,
she's bringing the Warhammer.
What is the hobby you want to get into next?
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. So, for anyone who doesn't know how orcs talk, imagine like the deepest, like Cockney dirty, just dirty, yelling. So that's what I got. That was fantastic. So I guess Bearbot bought some Gretchen. He followed my advice, and he is buying some Gretchen. A tip to using Gretchen in the way that I suggested: do not be afraid to destroy them. And what I mean by that, again, if you the model that I did with the tank, this Gretchen in the barrel. I'm sorry if the video is shit. That is actually a Gretchen that I cut in half. It is from a Blood Bowl set that had the right pose, like he was sitting out of a barrel. Do not be afraid to cut them in half or just use a head or shape their arms or whatever. That's pretty much all I have for that. I look forward to seeing that. When you finish that, Bearbot, please duet me or show me or tag me or something.
Next up, we got True Flake asking, what is a hobby you want to get into next? So, I want to get into Warhammer.
That's cheating. You already started buying.
Oh, well,
Next hobby. Oh wait, you haven't played yet. Okay.
yeah, I haven't played yet. Don't put that on me.
No, well, isn't Warhammer under the same hobby umbrella kind of as your Gun Plus stuff? Or
I-
is
No,
what are we considering
because
hobbies?
y'all don't have rules for your Gunpla to like go and put them out on a table and spend 6 hours yelling about, hey, my plastic, you see
Yeah,
your
but
plastic.
it's the same ballpark, you know. I was gonna say analog photography for mine.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's very gutsy of you.
What?
I said what I
Uh,
said.
Thank you. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
much,
and you
Snap.
can make an easy developing room just in your bathroom. You just got to get like a red light and whatnot and black out your windows. So that's pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hobby that I want to get into. The problem is I'm kind of in all of the nerdy hobbies. Like I do D&D and things like that, so I can't like delve into that. I want to do more with my 3D printer. I already, like, the first thing that I did when I got my 3D printer was I printed gifts for everybody that I knew, like people at work, friends, family. I've actually only printed one thing out of it for me so far, so I need to do that. So
That's good.
mine.
I agree with
Nice.
that.
Very cool.
Mar619 answered a question in chat, but another question I saw scrolling through is how long has everyone been doing Gunpla and Warhammer?
Gunpla for 5 to 6 years.
That you said 3 different years.
5 to 6 years.
That's
Oh, I thought
varying
you said-
degrees of how
oh,
much he liked
oh,
it.
oh,
He was
for
kinda into it
FOR.
for like 4.
Sorry. I thought you said 4, 5 to 6 years.
That's like 3 different years, dude.
I think for Warhammer, I kind of got segued into it because like I've been doing like tabletop D&D things and painting models for that and like some War Machine and like Iron Kingdoms and stuff like that. I kind of got strong-armed by a friends group maybe 2 years ago to play, and they all already had an army, so it was just me painting, and it's taken me a long time to paint it. So it's most of that has been painting. So maybe 2 years in Warhammer. Modeling is
been-
longer.
I've been in, I want to say six years. Back in 6 years now, doing Gunpla,
Oh.
somewhere in that ballpark.
Man, I feel lame because I've only been doing it for like 3 months.
Hey, that's
That
fine.
is
Alright.
not
You have to
lame. That
start
means that
somewhere.
Your wallet is probably the healthiest
Yes.
The least.
statistically.
The least
You're the
traumatized.
unfettered- You're the unfettered one.
There's no way that you could spend the amount of money that Mr. 4, 5, or 6 years has spent in
Oh,
3
yeah.
months.
Of course.
All right, Gutsy,
Um,
it's down to us.
2 years, 2.5 years, like into it seriously.
I was
but I've been
really
building
hoping that.
Kits like on and off since I was a wee boy. So
Okay, we established early on that I was the oldest of the group, so I want
We
that.
did?
Pretty sure. I'm 31.
did.
Am I older than you, Derp?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
okay, yeah.
So now that I've got that out there, that's my excuse. I've been building model kits for 11, 12 years now.
That's why you are the
I'm
senpai.
sorry.
Yes.
Your wallet.
This is why you are the commander.
I think at this
Really,
point my
Cap?
wallet is just like, I exist in this state now. I am forever empty.
Your shelf
OG.
probably cost as much as like 2 Gunpla kits. Could have been 2 more kits. You had to have a nice shelf.
I have been building model kits of various kinds, whether they be battle model kits, miniatures, like modifying Legos, and everything in between. Gunpla has always been my favorite, though.
Yes, Bacon, he is Snap Senpai.
No, Bacon. I veto that name.
What,
Veto power.
what's the name?
Nope. It is cut from history. Next question.
Actually, that brings us to the end of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Truthful M4s or whatever. Oh, we're split here. Master Snap. I love it. Well, everyone, thank you so much for showing up, showing us some love. We hope to see you next week for our next round of shenanigans and group therapy. Once again, this has been Plastic Anonymous. I've been your host, Snap. It's been fun, and we will hopefully see you all next week. But we bid you adieu.
Bye bye.
Bye,
Thanks
everyone.
for hanging.
Deuces.
How do I turn this thing off?